There was a moment when everything you fought for seemed to crumble. The job you lost without explanation, the relationship that ended when you thought it was forever, the door that slammed shut just when you believed it was your answer. You cried out, confused, angry, asking why this was happening to you. You felt abandoned, questioning if I had forgotten your name. But tonight, I want to show you something that will change everything. I want you to see what I saw. I want you to understand what was happening in the invisible while you were bleeding in the visible. Because there was a reason, there was a divine strategy, there was a protection you couldn't see, a redirection you didn't ask for, and a preparation for something so much greater than what you lost. What you thought was rejection was actually my selection. What felt like punishment was my protection. And now, right now, as you hear these words, something inside you is about to shift. You're about to see your past 3 years differently. You're about to understand why certain people left, why certain dreams died, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. Heaven was whispering something you couldn't hear in the storm. And tonight, you'll finally understand why. You clicked on this video because something inside you is still searching for answers. You're tired of pretending you're okay when every night you replay the same questions. Why did that happen? Why was I passed over? Why did everything fall apart when I was doing everything right? You've been carrying this weight, this confusion, this quiet resentment that you don't even want to admit exists. You've smiled through the pain, quoted scriptures to yourself, tried to move forward, but deep down there's still a wound that whispers, maybe I wasn't good enough, maybe God didn't care. Maybe I missed my chance. But what if I told you that every closed door was my hand protecting you from a trap? What if the person who walked away was actually removed because they would have destroyed the version of you I'm building? What if the delay you've been frustrated about was me saving you from a disaster you'll never even know existed? Tonight, you're not here by accident. This message was crafted in heaven specifically for your heart, for your story, for this exact season you're in right now. Here's what we're going to uncover together. First, I'll reveal the hidden reasons behind your greatest losses and how they were actually divine interventions. Second, you'll discover the 3 signs that prove you were being repositioned, not punished. Third, I'll show you what I was building in secret while you thought nothing was happening. And finally, you'll receive the whisper from heaven that will bring tears of relief and a breakthrough of understanding that changes how you see your entire journey. But before we go deeper, I need you to do something that seals this moment between us. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Subscribe to this channel right now and come into the comments and declare, Lord, I am here. I subscribed because I love you and I want to hear you. And tell me, what country and city are you watching from? I want to know where my voice is reaching tonight, because I have a word that I'm going to whisper directly into your heart before this video ends. And when you write it down in the comments, I will release blessings over your life that have been waiting for this moment of obedience. Stay with me until the very last second. Don't leave early. What I'm about to reveal will make everything make sense. The pain that carried purpose. Do you remember the night you cried yourself to sleep asking me why? You were so sure that door was supposed to open. You had prayed, fasted, believed with everything in you. You did all the right things. You honored me. You stayed faithful. And yet the answer was no. The door stayed closed, the breakthrough didn't come, and you felt crushed. You felt forgotten. You wondered if I had turned my back on you. But what you didn't see was what I saw. While you were focused on that one door, I was watching the entire hallway of your future. I saw what was behind that door you were begging me to open. I saw the compromise that would have slowly poisoned your peace. I saw the person who seemed perfect, but carried patterns that would have broken you in ways you'd spend years recovering from. I saw the opportunity that looked golden, but was laced with traps designed by the enemy to derail your destiny. You saw a closed door. I saw a narrowly avoided disaster. There's a story in Scripture that reveals this truth powerfully. When the Apostle Paul wanted to go into Asia to preach, the Spirit stopped him. He tried to go to Bithynia, and again, the Spirit blocked his path. Imagine his confusion. Here's a man surrendered to my will, ready to spread the gospel, and door after door is slamming shut. But then he had a vision of a man from Macedonia, begging him to come and help. Paul obeyed, went to Macedonia, and there he established some of the most powerful churches in history. Lydia was saved. The Philippian jailer and his household came to faith. A movement was born. If Paul had forced his way through those closed doors, he would have missed the greater assignment I had waiting. Your closed doors weren't cruel. They were calculated. I wasn't withholding from you. I was protecting you and preparing you. Every no you received was me saying, not that, because I have this. Every delay was me saying, not yet, because the timing isn't perfect and you're not fully ready for what I'm sending. Every loss was me saying, let go of the lesser so I can give you the greater. You've been angry at the process, but the process was saving your life. You've been frustrated with the waiting, but the waiting was maturing your character, deepening your faith and aligning you with people and opportunities that could only meet you at this elevation. What you thought was wasted time was actually investment time. I was building capacity in you. I was removing desperation. I was teaching you to trust my voice over your feelings. And now, you're standing in a season where you're about to see why it all had to happen exactly the way it did. If this word is touching something deep inside you, don't just watch and leave. Let me know you're receiving this. Hit that like button as a sign of agreement. And if someone you know has been struggling with unanswered questions, share this video with them. Be the vessel I use to bring them the answer they've been crying out for. Now, I want you to pause and ask yourself this. What door closing in your life hurt the most? Write it in the comments, even if it's just one word. Release it to me. Say, I release my confusion. I trust your plan. The redirect you didn't recognize. You were so focused on what you lost that you didn't notice what I was positioning you to gain. Your disappointment blinded you to the doors I was quietly opening on the other side of your obedience. You were mourning one ending while I was orchestrating 10 new beginnings. But you couldn't see it yet, because your eyes were still fixed on what was behind you. There's a principle woven throughout Scripture that many miss. Divine redirection always feels like rejection first. When Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers, it looked like the worst betrayal of his life. He went from favored son to forgotten prisoner. For years it seemed like his dreams were dead and his destiny was destroyed. But I was redirecting him. Every injustice, every false accusation, every year in that prison cell was moving him closer to the palace. When Pharaoh finally called for him, Joseph wasn't just ready, he was prepared. The pit taught him humility. The prison taught him character. The pain taught him wisdom. And when he finally stood before his brothers years later, he said words that unlock everything. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. That's your story too. What others intended for harm, what the enemy meant to destroy you with, what felt like the end of your story. I intended it all for good. I was redirecting you into a dimension of purpose, provision, and influence you couldn't have accessed through the door you wanted. You were praying for a promotion at a company I was about to remove my blessing from. You were begging me to save a relationship with someone who was assigned to delay you. You were chasing a dream that was actually too small for the calling I placed on your life. So I redirected you. And yes, it hurt. Yes, it was confusing. Yes, you felt lost for a season. But that disorientation was necessary because you were being turned in a completely new direction. You couldn't go where I'm taking you if you were still holding on to where you've been. The redirect required a release, and the release required trust, even when nothing made sense. Look at your life right now. You're not where you were 3 years ago. You don't think like you used to. You don't tolerate what you used to. You don't settle like you used to. That didn't happen by accident. I've been rebuilding you from the inside out. I've been redirecting your focus, your standards, your faith, and your expectations. You're no longer chasing what everyone else is chasing. You're no longer impressed by what used to dazzle you. You've been redirected into a lane of destiny that's uncommon, anointed, and aligned with heaven's agenda for your life. And here's what I need you to know. The redirect blue direction doesn't stop here. There's more coming. Greater assignments, deeper intimacy with me. Supernatural acceleration in areas where you've been moving slow. But you have to stop resisting the process. Stop looking back. Stop replaying what didn't work out and start celebrating what I'm working out right now. This message is stirring something in you, isn't it? You feel it. That warmth in your chest, that knowing in your spirit. Don't ignore it. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. This is where you'll keep hearing my voice clearly. And drop a comment right now and say, I trust the redirect. I'm ready for what's next. The gift disguised as loss. You called it loss. I called it release. You called it failure. I called it freedom. You called it the worst year of your life. I called it the year I saved your life. Perspective changes everything. And tonight I'm shifting yours. There are moments in Scripture where my greatest gifts came wrapped in what looked like devastating loss. Think about Job. He lost everything. His wealth, his children, his health, his reputation. His friends accused him. His wife told him to curse God and die. For months he sat in ashes, scraping his sores, begging me for answers. And I was silent, but I wasn't absent. I was setting up the greatest comeback story in the Bible. When it was all over, I didn't just restore what Job lost. I doubled it. His latter days were greater than his former days, but he had to walk through the loss to receive the gift. If you're going to prosper in this life, if you're going to walk in true abundance and peace, you have to understand this. I am removing things from your life not to punish you, but to make room. You can't hold new wine in old wineskins. You can't build a new foundation on top of a cracked one. I had to strip some things away so I could rebuild you correctly. That friendship that drained you, I removed it so you'd have space for connections that actually pour into you. That job that undervalued you, I removed it so you'd stop settling and start pursuing the provision I've already assigned to your obedience. That season of isolation, I allowed it so you'd learn to hear my voice above all the noise and opinions that were drowning out your destiny. Every loss you've experienced was a gift in disguise. It just didn't feel like it at the time. But now, as you look back with new eyes, you can see it. The person who ghosted you, they would have wasted years of your life. The opportunity that fell through, it would have trapped you in a cycle that had no room for growth. The dream that died, it was too small for the vision I'm about to give you. I know you've been hurt. I know you've questioned my goodness. I know there were nights you felt completely alone, like I wasn't listening, like I didn't care. But I need you to hear me now. I was there. I caught every tear. I heard every prayer. I felt every ache, and I was working. Not according to your timing, but according to my perfect will. And what I'm building for you is worth every moment of waiting, every season of confusion, every loss you thought would break you. The truth is, you're wealthier now than you were before the loss, not in what you can see in your bank account, but in the richness of your faith, the depth of your trust, the strength of your spirit. You've gained wisdom that money can't buy. You've developed resilience that pressure creates. You've cultivated intimacy with me that only comes through fire. And those things, they're setting you up for a level of blessing and favor that requires maturity, not just desire. If you feel me speaking directly to your situation right now, I want you to do something. Go to the comments and write, "Thank you for what I lost. I see the gift now." And if this message has brought clarity to your confusion, hit that like button. Let me know my words are reaching you. And share this with someone who's still grieving something I've already redeemed. When I close a door, I open a dimension. You've been staring at closed doors, wondering when they'll open, but I'm not reopening old doors. I'm opening dimensions you didn't even know existed. There's a difference. A door is an opportunity. A dimension is a realm. A door gives you access to a room. A dimension gives you access to a reality. And I don't just move you from room to room. I move you from glory to glory. If, for some reason, only if it's possible within your heart right now, contribute with love through the thank you button. It doesn't matter the amount. What matters is the heart with which you give. For it is written, each of you should give what you have decided in your heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, and not one of them will I leave without harvest. I see in secret, and I reward openly. Those who contribute with any amount and a sincere heart, don't forget to leave your name and your city with your contribution, because on the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on the Voice of God channel, your name will be remembered, mentioned as a thank you, and covered by divine blessings released in prayer. Remain until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. When I led the Israelites out of Egypt, I didn't just give them freedom from slavery. I opened a dimension of supernatural provision, manna from heaven, water from rocks, shoes that didn't wear out for 40 years, a cloud by day and fire by night. They entered a dimension where the natural laws bowed to my presence. They walked in a reality that defied logic. That's what I do when I move you. I don't just change your location. I change your access. You've been praying for breakthrough, but I'm giving you breakthrough into a new dimension. You've been asking for open doors, but I'm giving you open heavens. You've been wanting change, but I'm bringing transformation. And transformation doesn't just adjust your circumstances. It shifts your entire reality. You won't just have more. You'll see more. You won't just do more. You'll become more. This new dimension I'm opening for you operates on different principles. It's not based on your qualifications. It's based on my selection. It's not based on your connections. It's based on my favor. It's not based on your track record. It's based on my faithfulness. In this dimension, the last become first. The overlooked become chosen. The broken become builders. The mourning becomes dancing. You're about to step into rooms you never applied for. Meet people you never pursued. Receive opportunities you never worked for. Because in this dimension, I'm the one doing the opening, the connecting, the elevating. But here's what you need to understand. Stepping into a new dimension requires leaving old mindsets behind. You can't enter new realms with old thinking. You can't access abundance while holding on to poverty mentality. You can't walk in authority while still living in insecurity. The dimension shift requires an identity shift. And that's what I've been doing in you during this season. I've been renewing your mind, reshaping your perspective, rewiring your beliefs. You're not the same person who entered this trial, and the person you're becoming is ready for what I'm releasing. Are you feeling the shift happening even now? Can you sense something changing inside you as you receive these words? That's my spirit moving. Don't resist it. Surrender to it. Write in the comments, I'm ready for the new dimension. I release the old. And if you know someone stuck staring at closed doors, share this video. Be the messenger that reminds them, God doesn't just open doors, He opens dimensions. The whisper you almost missed. There was a moment in the middle of your chaos when I whispered something to you. It was so quiet you almost missed it. You were crying, frustrated, ready to give up. And in that moment, I spoke. Not audibly, not through someone else, but directly into your spirit. And the whisper said, trust me. This isn't the end. I'm not done with you. You felt it. You knew it was me. But fear and doubt tried to drown it out. The enemy whispered louder, you're forgotten. You're too broken. It's over for you. And for a moment, you didn't know which voice to believe. But tonight I'm amplifying that whisper again. I'm making it so loud, so clear, so undeniable that you can't ignore it anymore. Trust me. This isn't the end. I'm not done with you. In 1 Kings, there's a powerful moment where the prophet Elijah is running for his life. He's discouraged, exhausted, hiding in a cave, asking me to let him die. He feels like a failure. He thinks he's the only one left who's faithful. And I tell him to go stand on the mountain because I'm about to pass by. Then a powerful wind tears through the mountains, but I'm not in the wind. An earthquake shakes the ground, but I'm not in the earthquake. A fire blazes, but I'm not in the fire. And then, after all the noise, after all the dramatic displays, comes a gentle whisper. And that's where I am. In the whisper. You've been looking for me, in the loud moments. The big miracles, the sudden breakthroughs, the dramatic signs. But I've been speaking to you all along in the whisper. In the quiet, knowing that everything will be okay. In the unexplainable peace in the middle of your storm. In the subtle shift in your heart that made you choose faith over fear one more time. That was me, whispering, guiding, holding you. And here's what I need you to know. The whisper is about to get louder. What I've been speaking to you in secret is about to be confirmed in public. What I've been promising you in the quiet is about to manifest in the open. People are about to see what I've been doing in you. Doors are about to open that you didn't even knock on. Blessings are about to show up that you didn't even ask for. Because when I whisper a promise, I always perform it. But you have to tune in. You have to silence the noise. You have to stop letting fear, doubt, and other people's opinions drown out my voice. This is why this channel exists. This is why you keep coming back. Because here, you hear me clearly. Here, the whisper becomes a word. and the word becomes life. If you've been hearing my whisper and you're ready to respond, let me know. Go to the comments and write, "I hear you, Lord. I'm listening." And if this message is confirming something I've already been speaking to your heart, hit that subscribe button and stay connected, because the whisper isn't finished. There's more I'm going to say. Now you understand why. All of it. Every tear, every betrayal, every closed door, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every moment you thought I had forgotten you. Now you understand why. It wasn't random. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't because you weren't good enough or faithful enough or strong enough. It was because I was preparing you for now, for this moment, for what's coming next. You couldn't see it then, but you can see it now. The relationship that ended, it had to, because the person I'm bringing into your life requires a version of you that only pain could produce. The job you lost, it had to go, because the provision I'm sending requires a faith that only lack could build. The dream that died, it had to, because the vision I'm giving you is so much bigger than anything you could have imagined on your own. You've been looking at your past as a series of mistakes and failures, but I've been looking at it as a masterpiece in progress. Every brushstroke mattered. Every color served a purpose. Even the dark shades were necessary to make the light stand out. And now, as you step back and see the full picture, you realize it's beautiful. Your story is beautiful. Not because it was easy, but because it was real. Not because it was perfect, but because it was purposeful. There's a verse that says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." All things, not some things, not just the good things, all things, the betrayals, the losses, the heartbreaks, the disappointments. I worked them all together for your good. And what the enemy meant to destroy you, I'm using to promote you. Joseph understood this when he finally saw his brothers again. He could have been bitter. He could have sought revenge, but instead he said, "Now you understand why. You understand why I had to be sold. You understand why I had to go to prison. You understand why everything had to unfold exactly the way it did. Because if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't be here. And if I'm not here, you all starve. My pain had a purpose. My process had a plan. And now you understand why. That's what I'm saying to you tonight. Now you understand why. Why the door closed, why the person left, why the season was hard, why the wait was long. Because if it hadn't happened that way, you wouldn't be who you are right now. And who you are right now is exactly who needs to walk into what I'm opening next. So stop replaying the pain. Stop questioning the process. Stop doubting my goodness. Instead, lift your hands and say, "Thank you. Thank you for loving me enough to redirect me. Thank you for protecting me even when I didn't understand. Thank you for the closed doors that saved my life. Thank you for the whisper that kept me going. Thank you for never giving up on me even when I wanted to give up on myself. Now I understand why. If this word just broke something off of you, if you just felt chains fall off your mind and heart, let me know. Comment right now. Now I understand why. Thank you, Lord. And if you've been blessed, don't keep this to yourself. Share it. Let this message reach someone else who's still stuck in confusion. Be the bridge I use to bring them into clarity. The promise that's about to manifest. You've been holding on to a promise I gave you years ago. You wrote it down. You prayed over it. You believed it with everything in you. But then time passed. Seasons changed. Circumstances didn't line up. And slowly, quietly, doubt started to creep in. You began to wonder, did I really hear him? Was that really God? Or was it just my own desire? Let me settle this for you right now. If I spoke it, I meant it. If I promised it, I'm going to perform it. My word doesn't return void. My promises don't have expiration dates. And delays are not denials. You didn't mishear me. You didn't make it up. I spoke. And what I spoke is still standing. The promise is still alive. And it's closer to manifestation than you think. In the book of Habakkuk, the prophet cries out in frustration. He asks me, "How long, Lord? How long do I have to wait?" And I answer him with something powerful. Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets so that a herald may run with it. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come, and will not delay. Did you catch that? Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come. It will not delay. There's an appointed time, a set moment, a divine alignment, and you're stepping into it right now. The promise that's been lingering is about to land. The vision that's been delayed is about to be delivered. The breakthrough that's felt impossible is about to become undeniable. But here's what I need you to do. Stop trying to force it. Stop manipulating circumstances. Stop striving in your own strength. The promise doesn't come through your effort. It comes through your faith. It doesn't manifest because you work harder. It manifests because you trust deeper. So rest, surrender, let go of control, and watch me move. You're about to see me do things you can't explain. Doors are going to open that you didn't apply for. Resources are going to show up from places you didn't expect. People are going to connect with you who are divinely assigned to your next level. Relationships are going to be restored. Health is going to be renewed. Peace is going to flood your mind. Joy is going to return to your heart. And when it all starts happening, you're going to look back at this moment and say, that's when it shifted. That's when I chose to believe again. That's when I stopped doubting and started declaring. The promise is about to manifest. Get ready. Position your heart. Prepare your faith. Because what I'm releasing over your life is going to require you to walk in a level of confidence, boldness, and expectation you've never walked in before. You can't step into abundance with a scarcity mindset. You can't walk into favor feeling unworthy. You can't receive blessing while rehearsing past failures. The manifestation requires a mindset shift, and that shift starts right now. Are you ready to receive? Are you ready to believe again? Then let me hear it. Go to the comments and write, I receive the promise, it's manifesting now. And if this word is igniting something in your spirit, hit that like button. Show me you're in agreement with what heaven is declaring over your life. So here we are. At the end of this message, but not the end of this journey. You came here tonight confused, carrying questions, replaying the pain, wondering why things happened the way they did. But now you see it differently. Now you understand that every closed door was my protection. Every loss was my redirection, every delay was my preparation, and every whisper was my promise spoken over your life. I need you to hold on to what you've heard tonight. Don't let the noise of the world drown it out. Don't let the enemy steal this word from your heart, because this wasn't just a video, this was a divine appointment, a heavenly encounter, a turning point, and from this moment forward, you're going to walk differently, talk differently, believe differently. Because now you understand why. The road ahead is brighter than you think. The blessings are closer than they appear. The promise is more certain than your circumstances suggest. And I'm not done speaking. This is just the beginning. There are more messages coming, more revelations to uncover, more truths to unlock. So don't just watch this once and move on. Come back. Make this channel a part of your daily routine. Let my voice become the loudest voice in your life. And if you haven't already, go watch the entire Voice of God playlist. There are messages there specifically designed for where you are right now. Each one builds on the last. Each one takes you deeper. Each one strengthens your faith and clarifies your vision. This is your spiritual food, your daily bread, your source of hope, direction, and divine wisdom. Now, before you go, I want you to do something powerful, something that seals this moment between us. I want you to go into the comments section and write these words as a declaration of faith and love. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Write it boldly. Write it with confidence. Write it as a proclamation that you're no longer living in confusion, doubt, or defeat. You're living in clarity, faith, and victory. And when you write those words, I'm releasing strength over your life. Strength to keep going. Strength to keep believing. Strength to walk into everything I've promised you. Don't leave here the same way you came. Let this word change you. Let it renew you. Let it remind you that you're not forgotten. You're not abandoned. You're not disqualified. You're chosen. You're loved. You're equipped. And you're about to step into a season where everything I've been whispering in secret becomes shouted from the rooftops. Now go. Walk in the understanding. Walk in the promise. Walk in the victory. And remember, I'm with you. Always, every step, every moment, every breath, you're mine. And I don't lose what's mine. Write it now. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.